On my 25th birthday, my parents pull up in a Rolls-Royce Phantom to pick me up. They're wearing designer clothes I have only ever seen in magazines, smiling wide. Son, congratulations. You have passed 20 years of trials. I am still clutching a cold, stale, steamed bun in my hand. That bun is my birthday dinner. I look at them, then at the car gleaming in this crumbling alley. Trials what? Kind of trial takes 20 years of hunger and cold to complete? My mother steps toward me and reaches for my hand. I pull away. The diamond on her finger, the size of a pigeon's egg, burns my eyes. Marcus, come home with us. We have a birthday banquet waiting. Everything the Chen family owns, billions, will one day be yours. My name is Marcus Chen A. Name that means silence. It fits. For 25 years, I have endured everything in silence. Hunger, cold, the mockery of classmates, the insults of landlords. I thought my parents were enduring too. Somewhere I could not see, quietly holding on. I thought we were a family fighting poverty together, side by side. Then on my 25th birthday, they arrive in a Rolls-Royce Phantom, draped in couture, descending before me like gods, telling me my entire life was a carefully designed test. I look at my father, Victor Chen. Even his name sounds powerful. He claps a hand on my shoulder, looking me over like a man inspecting livestock. Not bad. Still in one piece, art worth raising after all. His words land like a hammer blow. When I was 5 years old, I was sent to the most rundown part of this city, a crumbling urban village. I was handed off to a distant relative. Every month, my parents wired exactly 500 yuan, not a cent more, just enough to keep me from starving. I grew up in patched up clothes, eating the cheapest food I could find. When I was 10, the relative decided the money was not enough and threw me out. I moved alone into a partitioned room that cost 100 yuan a month. That place had no windows. One winter, I ran a fever of 40 degrees Celsius. My whole body burned. My mind blurred. I had no money for a hospital. I could only curl up under a freezing blanket and press myself against the wall for a trace of cool. I called out for my parents over and over. Only the howling wind answered. I told myself they were away working hard, saving on travel costs. I even dreamed that one day, when I grew up and earned money, I would give them the best life possible. Looking back now, how laughable. While I was alone in the middle of the night, writhing on the floor from stomach pain, they were clinking glasses at some luxury banquet. While I ran through a downpour for several kilometers just to save a few cents on the bus, they were sitting in a warm, comfortable car complaining about the bad weather. They were sitting in that warm car, complaining about the weather. My mother, Linda Chen, looks incredibly well kept, barely past 30 you would think. She reaches up to touch my face, eyes brimming with tears. Marcus, Mom knows you suffered, but all of this was for your own good. Without enduring the storm, how do you find the rainbow? The heir of the Chen family cannot be a flower raised in a greenhouse. For my own good. What a noble sounding excuse. I look at her and ask word by word, what if I had failed Thetrial? What if I had died of illness or been beaten to death in some back alley? Linda's face goes pale. Victor immediately cuts in, his voice carrying the weight of someone who does not accept challenges. No, what ifs? My son is not that weak. We have been watching you from the shadows. You were always safe. They're so-called watching. That means standing by while school bullies cornered me and shoved my head into a bucket of water. It means watching me fight stray dogs over a single steamed bun. It means watching me haul bricks at an illegal construction site to scrape together tuition money, nearly getting crushed by falling steel beams. That is what they call safe. My heart turns to ice in an instant. So my entire life of over 20 years was nothing but a circus act with an audience. And my own parents were the ones watching most eagerly. The trial is over, I say quietly, my voice so hoarse it does not even sound like mine. Yes, it is over. Victor laughs out loud. Starting today, you are the sole heir of Chen Group. Come on, let's go home. Your brother and your girlfriend are both waiting. My mind goes completely blank. I have a brother? And why is my girlfriend Snow at their house? Snowlin is my college classmate. We have been together for 3 years. She is beautiful, gentle, understanding. She never looked down on me for being poor. She was the only light in my dim life. She said she loved me for who I was. I believed it was real. Now I wonder if she was part of the test all along. I am half pushed, half guided into the Rolls-Royce. The interior is vast, filled with a scent I cannot name. The soft leather seats belong to a different universe than my hard wooden plank bed. The car glides forward, pulling out of the muddy, filthy alley I have called home for 20 years. I glance back. At the mouth of the alley, the old man who sells steamed buns peers over curiously. For 20 years I went to him every single day to buy the 2 cheapest, hardest buns he sold. He could never imagine that this poor kid who lived on steamed buns would ever ride in a car like this. He could never imagine that the kid who gnawed on steamed buns every day would end up here. I turn back and look out at the scenery rushing past. Familiar crumbling buildings giving way to gleaming, grand towers. We enter a neighborhood I have only ever seen on television. A wealthy enclave where every mansion looks like a castle, heavily guarded. The car finally stops before the most imposing villa of all. Enormous iron gates, intricately carved, swing slowly open. 2 uniformed guards bow respectfully. Welcome home, sir, madam, young master. Young master. The title turns my stomach. I follow Victor and Linda into villa. What greets my eyes is opulence beyond words. An enormous crystal chandelier. Marble floors polished like mirrors. Paintings on the walls I cannot understand but can tell cost a fortune. On the living room sofa sits a young man roughly my age. He wears a perfectly tailored suit, his entire bearing radiating privilege. There is a faint resemblance between us around the eyes, but his face carries an air of superiority he was born into. Beside him sits a girl I know all too well, Snow. She is wearing a white dress I have never never seen before, her makeup perfect. When she sees me, she stands quickly, but something in her expression is off. Marcus, you're back. The young man rises too, sizing me up with lazy eyes. Well, so this is the long-lost older brother who spent 20 years suffering out there. Dad, Mom, that was one brutal test you put him through. Just look at him. Look at the state of him. Looks like a beggar. Every word is a poison needle driven straight into my chest. Victor frowns. Blaine, is that any way to talk to your brother? The words say one thing, but his face says another. There is not a trace of genuine reproach in his expression. Instead, I catch a flicker of pride. Pride in this saw named Blaine and clear indulgence. So that is his name. Blaine Chen. Brilliance. One brother named Silence, one named Brilliance. One destined to fade in shadows, the other to blaze in the light. How poetic. Linda moves over, takes Snow's hand and pats it warmly. Snow dear, sorry to keep you waiting. Look, Marcus is back, isn't he? The good days are coming for both of you. Snow gives me a strange smile, her eyes sliding away. I stare at her. My heart feels like an invisible hand is squeezing it. Squeezing so hard I can barely breathe. You already knew, didn't you? I ask her. You already knew, didn't you? Snow's face drains of color. She bites her lip and cannot meet my eyes. Beside her, Blaine lets out a short laugh and answers for her. Oh, come on, Marcus. You didn't actually think a girl like Snow would fall for a broke guy like you? Let me be straight with you. Snow was chosen for you by our parents a long time ago as your intended wife. Having her get close to you, playing the role of your devoted, unshakable love, that was all part of the trial, so that even at your lowest, you would still believe in real love and hope. So, feeling touched? My world collapses in this moment. Touched? I feel nothing but bone-deep cold and overwhelming disgust. The one light in my life, it was a fake lamp they set up all along. Every bit of my persistence, every hope I held, every feeling I called love, all of it was a joke. I look at Snow, the girl who once made me porridge when I was sick, who held me and comforted me when I was falling apart, who said she would be by my side for life. Her face is now written with nothing but panic and guilt. Marcus, let me explain. Explain what? I cut her off. My voice is eerily calm. Explain how you said you loved me while you were pocketing my parents' money and living in luxury? Explain how you watched me gnaw on steamed buns while laughing at me inside? Tears spill down Snow's face. No, Marcus, Enough! Blaine cuts in impatiently, yanks her behind him like a bodyguard and faces me. All that crying, what does that look like? Marcus is the young master of the Chen family now, isn't he? And you are about to become the lady of a billionaire household. What more could you possibly want? He turns to me, that face so like mine twisted with contempt. Marcus, don't push your luck. Snow acting alongside you for that many years. You should consider yourself lucky. If it were me, I couldn't stand the smell of poverty on you for a single day. Splitting one bun into 2 meals, wearing the same clothes for 5 years, and you're not even embarrassed. Every single word cuts like a blade. I ignore him. My eyes stay locked on Snow. I need one true word from her mouth. Did you ever love me? I ask. Did you ever love me? I use every ounce of strength I have left, even for 1 day, 1 second. Snow trembles. Her mouth opens, but under Blaine's warning glare, not a single word comes out. Her silence is the cruelest answer of all. I laugh, and as I laugh, tears run down my face. What an absolute fool I have been. Victor surveys the chaos in the room and his expression finally darkens. Everyone, enough. His commanding voice silences the room instantly. He walks up to me, looking down at me from above. Marcus, I know this is hard to accept right now, but this is how it is. We did this for your own good, for the entire Chen family. Your brother Blaine has been spoiled since childhood. He is restless, unreliable, but you have endured years of hardening. Your will is iron. Your methods are ruthless. That is exactly what Chen Group needs in an heir. He says it like he is granting me a gift. Ruthless methods. Yes, to snatch a discarded chicken bone from another beggar, I once broke his leg. To protect 300 yuan of tuition I had worked for, I split 3 thugs' heads open with a brick. What they call ruthless is nothing but the survival instinct I paid for in blood. And now it is the very thing they praise most. So you can just strip away 20 years of my life with a clean conscience? I raise my head and meet his eyes. That was not stripping. That was tempering, Victor says, his voice heavier now. Great men are not held back by small things. What you lost is just an insignificant childhood. What you will gain is an entire business empire. Insignificant childhood. I clench my fists so hard my nails dig into my palms. Those nights crying alone in the cold. Those days when hunger gnawed at my stomach until it cramped in knots. Those moments of being pointed at and called a bastard, a worthless beggar. In their eyes, all of that is just a minor footnote. I look at him, then at Linda. What if I say no? What if I want nothing to do with your money? What if I don't want to be your so-called heir? The air freezes. Victor's face turns iron gray. Linda rushes over and grabs my arm. Marcus, don't be foolish. How could you not want it? This was always meant to be yours. Mine. I throw off her hand and step back as if she carries something contagious. What is mine is that cold steamed bun, that drafty crumbling room, those old clothes with patches sewn over patches. Not this. I sweep my arm at all this glittering gold and nearly shout, everything you have makes me sick. How dare you? Victor erupts. A slap cracks hard across my face. The burning pain spreads across my cheek. This is the first time in 25 years my father has ever hit me. I do not flinch. I do not hit back. Just look at him. My stillness seems to enrage him more than any resistance could. Who do you think you are? What gives you the right to refuse? Who do you think you are? What right do you have to refuse? He jabs his finger at my face, trembling with fury. I am telling you, Marcus, You were born a Chen. You will die a Chen. From the moment you came into this world, your life was never yours to decide. Accept it or not, you are staying here. Two men stride in immediately. Take the young master to his room. He does not step outside that door without my permission. I do not resist, or rather I have no strength left to resist. My inner world is already rubble. Like a puppet, I am hauled by the two guards toward the stairs. As we pass Blaine, he leans in close and says, just low enough for only me to hear, Marcus, stop fighting it. You are nothing but a dog Mom and Dad kept on a leash. Now the owners want you home. Be a good dog. Don't even think about running. And don't come after my spot. That belongs to me. Just be a good dog. Don't think about running. Don't touch what is mine. That is mine. I am locked inside a room larger than everywhere I have ever lived combined. It has its own bathroom, a soft king-sized bed, floor-to-ceiling windows looking out over a manicured garden, and a gleaming blue pool. And yet I feel more suffocated here than I ever did in that windowless room, more trapped than ever before. This is a magnificent prison built from money, and I am a prisoner sentenced to life inside it. I am kept in this gilded cage for 3 days. In those 3 days, other than the servant who brings meals on schedule, I see no one. The food is lavish, every kind of delicacy you can imagine. I cannot eat a single bite. Every time I close my eyes, Snow's evasive face flashes before me, and Blaine's contemptuous smirk, and Victor's entitled voice. What you lost is just an insignificant childhood. Insignificant? My stomach begins to cramp, wave after wave, not from hunger, but because 20 years of buried pain is detonating all at once. I curl up on the floor, cold sweat soaking through my clothes. When the servant arrives with the meal and sees me like this, she panics. Soon, a private doctor in a white coat is called in. After a thorough examination, his conclusion is chronic gastritis from long-term malnutrition combined with acute spasms triggered by severe emotional shock. He gives me an injection and writes a prescription. As he leaves, he looks at me with something like pity and sighs. Young master, you really should try to look on the brighter side. Destroying your own health over this. It's not worth it. No, it's not worth it. Ruining your body for people who are not worth a single thought. That is the least worth it thing of all. Once the pain eases, I drag myself up off the floor and truly take in this room for the first time. Then I walk to the enormous floor-to-ceiling window. Second floor below is soft grass. Jumping should not kill me. Second floor. Soft grass below. Jumping should not kill me. Escape. I have to get out. I do not want it to be anyone's heir. I do not want to see those faces again. I just want to go back to my world. Broken as it was, at least it was real. I start planning. The villa is locked down tight. Cameras and guards everywhere. Going out the front gate is impossible. I watch for days and map out the guard rotation. Every night between 3 and 4 in the morning is when they are most off their guard. Have one shot. On the 4th night, I pretend to sleep. When the wall clock shows 3 in the morning, I slip quietly out of bed. I pull off the expensive silk pajamas and put back on the worn, faded clothes I arrived in. These clothes remind me I am still Marcus, the real one. I twist the bed sheets into a rope, tie one end to the bed frame, and drop the other end out the window. I take a deep breath, climb out, and lower myself hand over hand. Second floor, not too high, not exactly low either. When I am almost at the bottom, the rope runs out. I brace myself and let go. My ankle screams with pain. No time to check it. I limp hard toward the perimeter wall. The wall is tall, topped with electrified wire. But I scope this out during the day. One corner near a large tree has a camera blind spotened. The wire there looks loose. Pushing through the agony in my ankle, I scramble up the tree using both hands and feet, then press flat against the trunk like a lizard, and inch my way toward the wall. I carefully avoid the wire, take one deep breath, and jump. Grass on the other side softens the landing. I made it. I am out. Free air has never tasted this sweet. I cannot stop for even a second. I drag my injured foot and push into the darkness. I do not know where I am going. I just want to get as far from that golden cage as I can. As far from that golden cage as possible. I wander the streets with no direction, my ankle burning worse with every step. Near dawn, I reach a familiar intersection. The street where Snow rents her place. I know she lied to me, but something pulls me here anyway. Like a ghost taking over my feet. I look up at the familiar 3rd floor window. The light is off. Maybe she has already moved into that gilded cage that was meant for me. I laugh at myself bitterly and turn to leave. Just then, a taxi stops below. The door opens. A familiar figure steps out. Snow. She looks worn but still dressed in designer clothes. She pays the driver and heads inside. I slip instinctively into the shadow nearby. She does not see me. She walks straight into the building. A few minutes later, the 3rd floor light comes on. I stand below like an idiot. I do not know what I want. Maybe some small, irrational part of me is still holding on to something. Maybe some irrational sliver of hope is still alive in me. Just as I am about to give up completely and walk away for good, a flashy red Ferrari roars to a stop below. The door swings open. Blaine steps out. He glances up at the 3rd floor window, a smug grin spreading across his face, then strides inside. My mind goes completely blank. Every drop of blood rushes to my head. I run. I kick the old entrance door wide open and tear up the stairs like a man possessed. The pain in my ankle is completely gone. Inside the apartment, Blaine has Snow pinned against the wall, kissing her frantically. Her clothes are half torn open. At the sound of the door being kicked in, they both spin around. When he sees me, he does not let her go. He pulls her in and kisses her harder right in front of me. Snow makes a token show of struggling, then goes limp in his arms. Snow makes a token struggle, then melts against him. In that moment, I hear my own heart shatter, sharp and clear as breaking glass. You saw that? Blaine finally releases Snow, wipes his mouth, and watches me like he is enjoying a show. Snow straightens her disheveled clothes, head bowed, unable to meet my eyes. Her face still carries a flush that tells the whole story. I say nothing, just stare at them. My body is shaking, not from fear but from rage that wants to burn everything down. What's wrong? Can't handle it. Blaine walks up and pats my cheek, every gesture dripping with contempt. I told you already, Snow was picked for you by our parents, but the person she has always wanted is me. Did you really think she would give her heart to someone as broke and pathetic as you? We have been together for a year now, a whole year. While I was working toward our future, sweating on construction sites, while I was cutting every corner and saving every cent, just to buy her a birthday gift she wanted, they were behind my back, enjoying their intimate affair. While I was pinching every penny just to get her that birthday gift she liked, they were behind my back the whole time. I am the biggest fool in the world. I force out one sentence through clenched teeth. What the hell are you? Blaine sneers. The rent on this apartment, your living expenses, all paid by me. Everything you ate, everywhere you slept, my charity, including Snow. I got tired of her and passed her to you. That one sentence lights the fuse. I roar and drive my fist into his face. Blaine flies back and crashes into the coffee table. Glass shatters. He scrambles up and lunges at me. We go down together. I hit with precision. He has had some training, but he is slowly losing ground. Stop! Victor bursts in with guards, sees Blaine's face covered in blood, and drives a kick into my back. I slam into the wall and cough up blood. Linda rushes in screaming for an ambulance. You disgraceful son! Victor slaps me hard. Drag him back to the villa. Lock him in the basement. No food, no water, not without my order. The guards haul me away like a dead animal. As we pass Snow, I see that the guilt in her eyes is far outweighed by fear and distance. My heart goes completely dead. I see in her eyes that the guilt is nothing compared to the fear and the pulling away. My heart is dead. The basement is dark and damp. Victor means what he says. No food, no water. I lose track of time. Hunger and thirst bring on hallucinations. Then the iron door swings open. Blaine stands there radiating smugness. Dad is signing over 30% of the company to me, and he has approved my engagement to Snow. We get engaged next month. You should come toast us. He kicks at my foot. Get on your knees and beg me and I will let you out. I look at him with eyes that hold nothing. My stare unsettles him. He drops one last line. I'll make your life a living hell. And leaves. Somewhere in the haze I hear Linda arguing with someone. Then I am carried out, given water and broth. When I come to, I am lying in the lavish room again. Linda sits at the bedside, eyes red, explaining. We did this for your good. Chen Group needs a strong heir, and you were our only hope. About Snow, we owe you an apology for that. I cut her off. Give me a phone, a separate account, freedom to come and go. I will learn to be an heir, but I have conditions. Do not call me by a nickname. I will learn to Betha heir, but on my terms. No nicknames. Stay out of my business, and Blaine must face consequences. Linda pleads with me to spare Blaine, but I shoot her down so cleanly she has nothing left to say. She leaves looking like a hollow shell. That afternoon Victor comes in, looking drained. Your conditions? Agreed. There is a black card in the nightstand. Tomorrow, Henry will take you to get familiar with the company. About Blaine, I hope you will go easy on him. I say nothing. The next day, I put on a suit. Henry Zhang is already waiting downstairs, addressing me respectfully as Mr. Chen. He takes me to Chen Group headquarters in a Bentley. Henry brings over the company's portfolio documents. I close it without reading. Skip the basics, get me two things. A list of every enemy Chen Group has and a full breakdown of every asset under Blaine's name. Henry hesitates, but in under an hour both files land on my desk. I pick up Blaine's file. My eyes go sharp. Blaine owns 3 companies. One of them is a predatory lending operation. I open the details immediately. One case stands out. A female college student named Lena Lee. One case involves Lena Lee, a college student. Her father was critically ill, and she desperately needed money. She borrowed 50,000 yuan from Blaine's company. In under 6 months, that became 500,000. She had no way to repay it. The collectors used her private photos to blackmail her and stormed her father's hospital room screaming at him. In the end, the girl could not bear it any longer and jumped from the roof of her dormitory. Her father, shattered by the shock, passed away the same night. Blaine, you deserve everything that is coming. I pick up the phone and dial Henry's extension. Set up a meeting with the head of Wolfstar Capital. Tell him Marcus Chen of Chen Group wants to discuss a deal. Henry moves fast, or rather Wolfstar Capital responds fast. Less than half an hour after my call, they confirm tonight at 8. At the city's most exclusive private members club, Cloud Summit Club. Interesting. Cloud Summit Club happens to belong to Blaine. Is this a coincidence or a deliberate move on their part? I set down the phone, a cold smile at the corner of my mouth. Coincidence or calculated? Either way, I set the phone down. The same cold smile. No matter which it is, tonight's performance is going to be worth watching. That evening, I have Henry drive me home, not to the gleaming villa, but to my old run-down rental room. I need to pick something up. The car stops at the familiar mouth of the alley. Henry stares at the scene before him, so out of place compared to every avenue he has ever entered, this crumbling urban village, and his expression fills with shock. He probably cannot fathom that the young master of Chen Group actually grew up here. I pay no attention to his shock. I walk straight into the crumbling building. My room is exactly as I left it, everything coated in a thin layer of dust. I go to the bed, lift the worn-out mattress, and find something wrapped in cloth underneath. I open it. Inside is a rusted fruit knife. I pulled it from a trash heap when I was 10 years old to protect myself. It has been with me through countless terrifying nights. I wrap it back up and tuck it inside my jacket. I wrap it carefully and press it close to my chest. Then I walk to the bare wall, the one with no window. On it hangs a photograph, yellowed with age, showing a girl with a bright, sweet smile. Snow. She gave it to me when we first got together. She said she wanted her smile to stand in for sunlight and light up this windowless room. I stare at the photo for a long time. Then I reach out and tear it from the wall, shredding it, along with the last pathetic trace of feeling I had left. At 8 that evening, I arrive at Cloud Summit Club right on time. The place lives up to its name. The decor is outrageously opulent, gold and gleaming, like a palace above the clouds. Every guest is dressed to perfection. All money, all power. A manager in a form-fitting cheapao leads me respectfully to the top floor and into a private room. Mr. Chen, Wolf is already inside waiting for you. I push the door open and walk in. One man sits alone in the room. He wears a black traditional Chinese jacket, his back to me unhurried, brewing tea. He wears that black jacket, back still turned, taking his time with the tea. He does not turn around. He simply says, calm and even, sit. I take the seat across from him. He pours a cup of tea and slides it toward me. The fragrance fills the air. Try it. This year's pre-Qingming Dragonwell. I pick up the cup, but do not drink. Just hold it near my nose and breathe it in. He looks around 40 with a scar running from the corner of his eye down to the edge of his mouth. It gives him an unmistakable air of menace. Drink enough of it and you will. Same with people. See enough of them and you start to understand. His eyes are sharp as a hawk's, as if they can see straight through me. You are the head of Wolfstar Capital, Wolf? I ask. He smiles, showing a clean row of white teeth. That is what they call me. What brings you here? I wanted to make a deal with you. I get straight to it. He raises an eyebrow, interested. Tell me. I need you to destroy someone. Who? Blaine Chen. At that name, Wolf's expression does not change at all. Wolf's face stays completely still. He simply lifts the teacup, blows lightly and takes a small sip. Victor Chen's son. Is that a reason? He gives a dry laugh. Wolf sets down the cup and looks at me with a grin. Interesting. Do you know this club belongs to him? I know. Do you know Chen Group is Wolfstar Capital's next target? I know that too. And you still came to me? Wolf's eyes take on an amused gleam. You are not afraid I will take you down with him? You won't. I hold his gaze, completely certain. Why not? Because you and I are the same kind of person. We both love watching the people at the top fall from the sky, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Wolf goes still. Even the scar on his face seems to twitch. He stares at me for a full 30 seconds, then bursts out laughing. Ha! Good. The enemy of my enemy. Well said. Victor Chen ruled like a legend his whole life and somehow produced a son like you. I am in. Tell me, how do you want to play this? I am in. Talk to me. What's the plan? Simple. I reach into my pocket and pull out a USB drive and slide it across to him. Inside is everything on Blaine's lending operation. Falsified accounts, violent collections, deaths on his hands. Every last piece of it. I need you to blow it all open. I want him ruined, rotting in prison. Wolf picks up the drive and weighs it in his palm. A ruthless smile spreads across his face. That is all? That is all. Fine. I guarantee within 3 days his name will be splashed across every major headline in the city. Pleasure doing business. I stand to leave. Wait, Wolf stops me. One more thing. Don't you want to know why I'm going after your family? I stop and look back. Why? Wolf's eyes fill with a hatred so deep it is almost visible. Because 20 years ago your father Victor Chen used the exact same methods you are dealing with now, and he destroyed my family. My father jumped from the roof of this very building. I feel the shock move through my whole body. So behind what looked like just business competition was a blood feud this deep. Behind what everyone called a business rivalry was a blood debt. No wonder he has pursued Chen Group with such relentless force. Still think we are friends? Wolf asks, cold and flat. Yes, I answer without hesitation. At least when it comes to bringing down Chen Group, we are. I turn and walk out of the room. As I step through the door, I hear Wolf murmur behind me. Victor Chen, you could never have dreamed that the son you valued most would be the one to hand-deliver your downfall. I do not look back. I walk out of the club and get into Henry's car. Mr. Chen, where to next? Somewhere with a good view of the show. Half an hour later, the car pulls up outside a hotel directly across from the venue where Blaine and Snow's engagement party will be held. I book the suite with the best view. I stand at the floor-to-ceiling window, looking at the brightly lit hotel across the street. The show is about to begin. 3 days later, at Blaine and Snow's engagement party, every notable figure in Yuncheng has received an invitation. Every last name in the city has been invited. The Chen family books the most luxurious 6-star hotel downtown. The whole event is on a massive scale. Victor wants this union to signal to the world that the next generation of Chen Group is ready to lead. Too bad he has miscalculated. On the day of the party, I am not there. I sit at my suite window with a high-powered telescope, watching everything unfold across the street. At 6 in the evening, guests begin arriving in a steady stream. Luxury cars line up at the entrance. Elegantly dressed men and women smile their way up the red carpet. Victor and Linda stand at the door as host and hostess, greeting guests with warm, radiant smiles. Blaine and Snow stand beside them like a golden couple. Blaine in a white custom-tailored suit, every hair perfectly in place, wearing the grin of someone who believes the world is his. Snow, in an expensive gown, flawlessly made up, beautiful as a princess. She holds Blaine's arm, her face wearing a smile of happiness. But to me that smile looks a little stiff. That smile, just a little forced. I wonder if she will still be smiling when she sees the engagement gift I have prepared. At 8 that night the ceremony begins. The giant screen in the ballroom starts playing a highlight reel of Blaine and Snow. From how they met to how they grew close to how they fell in love, all of it edited into something impossibly romantic, impossibly moving. The crowd responds with waves of admiration and warm wishes. Blaine takes Snow's hand and leads her onto the stage. The MC delivers a soaring string of congratulations, then passes the microphone to Blaine. Please join me in welcoming our dashing groom Blaine Chen to share a few words. Blaine takes the mic, clears his throat, and gazes at Snow with manufactured tenderness. Snow, do you know? Meeting you is the greatest luck of my life. He does not get to finish. The massive screen in the ballroom flickers once, and the sweet video dissolves into static. The screen that was just playing their romance goes to Snow. Then, without warning, image after image, footage after footage, appears on the screen. All of it is evidence from Blaine's lending operation. Photos of borrowers beaten until their faces are covered in blood. Videos of collectors smashing homes and splashing paint. And then, Lena Lee, on video, sobbing before she jumped. Please, I am begging you, leave me alone, my father is dying, I will spend my whole next life repaying you. The girl's desperate cries echo through every speaker in the ballroom, filling the room. The entire crowd is stunned. The room falls into dead silence, then erupts. My God, what is this? Blaine Chen was running this kind of Lee operation? Disgusting. He drove someone to their death. How did the Chen family raise a son like this? On stage, Blaine's face drains white as paper. He holds the microphone, trembling, unable to produce a single word. He stands there with the mic, shaking, speechless. Snow screams and crumples to the floor, victorious the first to recover. He charges backstage, bellowing, turn it off now. It is no use. The screen cannot be stopped. The evidence rolls on like a public execution, playing on repeat in front of everyone. Worse still, someone has called the authorities. The ballroom doors burst open from outside. A team of officers in uniform floods in. The lead officer carries an arrest warrant and walks straight onto the stage. Blaine Chen, you are suspected of illegal lending, violent debt collection, and intentional assault among multiple charges. You are hereby invited to come with us. Cold handcuffs snap onto Blaine's wrists. No, this isn't me, I've been set up. Blaine finally snaps back to reality, thrashing wildly, screaming, Dad, help me! Victor tries to push forward but is blocked by the officers. He watches the son he has always loved Moshtit dragged away like an animal. He watches his most beloved son hauled out like a dog. Victor shakes with fury. Then something gives way inside him, and he collapses straight down. Victor! Linda shrieks and throws herself toward him. The entire engagement party instantly becomes a complete disaster. Guests scatter like rats, desperate not to be connected to the Chen name. Reporters swarm like sharks scenting blood, cameras clicking without pause. I set down the telescope, pick up a glass of red wine from the table, and drink it in one go. What a show. Blaine, the engagement gift I have sent you, do you like it? I watch the chaos across the street. Not a single trace of satisfaction rises in me. Only a hollow, frozen emptiness. Is this it? No, this is only the beginning. My phone rings. It is Wolf. Gift received, he says, a hint of amusement in his voice. Received. Quite a show. Don't rush. There is more to come, Wolf says. I have already had someone file an anonymous report with the evidence of Chen Group's tax evasion and bribery. First thing tomorrow morning, the tax authorities and disciplinary inspectors will be paying Chen Group a visit. Even if Victor survives this, even if he walks away alive, the Chen family is finished. I go silent. I had not expected Wolf's methods to be this decisive. He is not just bringing them down, he is pulling them out by the roots. Going soft? Wolf seems to sense my silence. No. Good. Wolf says, trust me, I promised I would not touch you. When Chen Group falls, I will make sure your share is set aside. I don't need it, I say. What I want, I will take myself. I hang up and look out the window. The city's neon lights blur into a wash of color. I thought revenge would make me feel something. Happiness, relief, anything. So why does my heart feel this empty? Just then, someone knocks at my door. I walk over and open it. The person standing there catches me off guard. It is Snow. She is still in the white gown, but the hem is covered in stains. Her makeup is wrecked from crying. Her hair is a mess. She is completely falling apart. She looks at me, eyes full of fear and desperation. Marcus! The moment she opens her mouth, she drops to her knees. Please let Blaine go. I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. This is all you, isn't it? Please, I am begging you, spare him just this once. She wraps her arms around my legs and sobs like something is tearing apart inside her. I look down at Snow kneeling at my feet. This woman I once loved to my core, now groveling for another man. My heart does not stir even slightly. What makes you think it was me? I ask flatly. Who else could it be? Snow lifts her head, eyes drowning in tears. I know you hate us. Hate me, hate Blaine, hate your parents. But Blaine is innocent. He was just spoiled by your parents. Deep down, he is not a bad person. There it is again. That same excuse. I laugh. Not a bad person? He set traps. When he drove families into ruin, where was that good nature then? Snow has nothing to say. She knows everything Blaine did. She was even part of it because Blaine's company's books passed through her hands. Marcus, I know he did wrong. He will face the law. Snow shifts her approach and starts pulling at emotions. But we did love each other once, didn't we? Do you remember? Sophomore year you were sick and I carried you on my back to the hospital. Do you remember? Your birthday. I saved 6 months of scholarship money to buy you a watch. Have you really forgotten all of that? I look at her as if she is a stranger. I remember. Of course I do. I remember how you complained the whole way to the hospital that I was too heavy. And I remember that watch you gave me. The very next day it was on Blaine's wrist. Snow, you have been performing for so many years. Aren't you exhausted? Snow's face goes instantly white. She clearly did not expect me to remember those details. She thought I was just a fool blinded by love. Her mouth opens but nothing comes out. Every layer of her performance is stripped away in this moment. Get out. I point to the door and say it cold and flat. Snow suddenly loses it. She scrambles to her feet, grabs my arm with both hands. You cannot treat me like this. You cannot be this heartless. You still love me, don't you? You must still love me. That is why you did all this, isn't it? Marcus, can we start over? I will leave Blaine. I will be with you. I will help you take back everything from the Chen family. I will be yours and yours alone. Her words make my stomach turn. I wrench her hands off me with enough force to send her stumbling to the floor. Do you think you still have the standing to negotiate with me? I look down at her, my eyes full of contempt. To me, you are worth less than trash on the side of the road. At least trash can be recycled for cash. You just make me sick. My words cut like the sharpest blade and shatter whatever dignity she had left. She sinks to the floor, eyes vacant, like something vital has been drained out of her. I do not look at her again. I turn and close the door. I lean against it and slowly slide down to the floor. I have finally, with my own hands, destroyed the last beautiful thing in my memory. The next day, exactly as Wolf said, Chen Group is raided. Tax authorities and disciplinary investigators seal off the offices, taking every ledger and every executive. Victor is taken into criminal custody on multiple counts of financial crime. Linda sells off every piece of jewelry and every property, running to anyone who might help, hitting a wall everywhere she turns. When the powerful fall, everyone piles on. Every person who once fawned over the Chens now keeps their distance, terrified of being caught in the fallout. Yun Cheng's largest business empire collapses in a single night. I am the only one left standing, because before everything came apart, Victor seemed to sense something coming. He had already ring-fenced all the assets in my name. I inherit the majority of what remains of the Chen family's wealth. Not what it was at its peak, but still an astronomical sum. The poor kid who lived on steamed buns has become Yun Cheng's newest power player overnight. Many people want to get close to me. Many want to know how I came out of the storm untouched. I ignore all of it. The first thing I do is sell that gleaming villa. Then I go back to the alley that raised me. I find the old man who sold steamed buns and buy the small shop next to his stall. I open a little restaurant. Nothing fancy, just a few simple home-cooked dishes, and I cook them myself. On opening day, an unexpected guest walks in. Wolf, still in that black jacket, the scar on his face looking less harsh in the afternoon sun. He sits alone and orders braised pork and a bottle of beer. He eats slowly. When he finishes, he looks at me and says one thing: good cooking. Thank you. What are your plans? He asks. Run this place well. Live quietly, I say. Wolf smiles. A person like you, satisfied spending a lifetime in a kitchen? Why not? I ask back. Because at least here every meal I eat is clean. Wolf goes quiet. He reaches into his jacket and pulls out an envelope, sliding it across to me. Inside is a one-way ticket out of the country and some cash. Chen Group is gone, yes, but Victor made a lot of enemies. Staying here is not safe. Go abroad for a while. Come back when things cool down. I do not take the envelope. Your revenge is done. Does it feel good? Wolf stops. The smile fades from his face. He picks up his glass and finishes what is left in one long drink. No, he says. He looks out the window, his eyes carrying a weight I cannot quite name. I spent 20 years destroying the person I hated most, but what I lost can never come back. He stands, presses a few bills under the bowl, and walks away. I watch him go and see a version of my own future walking out the door. We are both people trapped in the past by hatred. What does revenge actually give you? What was lost is gone forever. The restaurant does steady if unspectacular business. I rise with the sun and rest when it sets. Life is as still and flat as a pond with no wind. I think this is how it will always be, until the Daya woman walks in and changes everything. Her name is Sunny Sue. She runs the flower shop across the street. She is beautiful, not Snow's kind of polished, curated beauty, but something warm and effortless. She always wears linen dresses. When she smiles, her eyes curve like crescent moons. She comes in every day, orders the cheapest noodles on the menu, sits quietly in the corner, eats, and quietly leaves. Sometimes she brings me flowers. Nothing expensive, just wild daisies picked from the roadside. She says, "You always look so alone and kind of gloomy, so I brought you flowers. Maybe they'll brighten things up a little." I do not know how to respond. I just accept them quietly and put the flowers in the most visible vase in the shop. Gradually, we get to know each other. Learn she is building her life here alone too. She learns about my past, but unlike everyone else, she does not look at me with pity or curiosity. she just says, "That's all behind you now." 4 simple words that do more for me than any comfort he have ever been offered. The heart I have kept frozen for so long begins, just barely, to thaw. I start to look forward to seeing her each day. I start to learn how to smile at someone again. I even begin to imagine, maybe I can love like a normal person again. Maybe I can just live. Just when I think life is finally turning a corner, everything is shattered. That afternoon, Sunny comes in as usual for her noodles. We are in the middle of talking when the restaurant door is kicked open. Several thuggish men walk in. The one in front is bald, with a vicious dragon tattoo running up his arm. "Who is Marcus Chen?" the bald man demands, his voice filling the room. I stand and step in front of Sunny. "I am." The bald man looks me up and down, grins to show a row of yellow teeth. "Someone paid good money for one of your legs." My stomach drops. Trouble has finally found me. Victor's enemies, or what is left of Blaine's crew. No time to think. The bald man waves a hand, and the men behind him close in on me with steel pipes. Sunny lets out a scream. "Don't be afraid." I put a hand briefly on her shoulder, then pull a cleaver from the kitchen rack. "Think carefully. You touch me. You will not walk away clean either." I hold the blade and face them, cold and steady. I do not want more trouble, but I am not afraid of it. If they push me, I do not mind reminding them that my 20 years on the streets were not wasted. The bald man sees the cleaver in my hand and is not scared at all. If anything, he finds it funnier. "Oh, look at the backbone on him. Get him, boys, get him. Whatever happens, I'll take responsibility." A brawl is unavoidable. I know how to fight, but they have numbers and weapons. I start losing ground fast. A pipe slams into my arm and the cleaver flies out of my hand. The bald man grins and closes in step by step. "Kid, in your next life, open your eyes wider. Don't make enemies you can't handle." He swings the pipe hard at my leg. I close my eyes and brace for the impact, but the pain does not come. I open my eyes and see something I will never forget for the rest of my life. Sunny, that gentle girl who speaks so quietly and softly, is standing in front of me. The steel pipe has landed squarely across her back. She lets out a muffled cry and crumples to the ground. Blood runs from her temple and soaks into her white linen dress. "Sunny!" My eyes burn with a fury I have never felt before. A roar tears out of me. I do not know where the strength comes from. I explode off the ground and throw myself at the bald man, sinking my teeth into his neck. I use everything I have, like I'm trying to rip a piece of him off. The bald man lets out a shriek like a stuck pig. The others freeze. They have probably never seen anyone fight like this, like they have nothing left to lose. Just then, piercing sirens erupt outside the restaurant. Someone called the police. The men read the situation in an instant, drop their pipes, and run. I do not chase them. I rush to Sunny's side, scoop her up, and run out of the restaurant like a man on fire. "Sunny, hold on. You cannot leave me." Her blood covers my hands, warm and vivid. I run through the streets, holding her, screaming, "Help! Someone help her!" People on the street stare at me like I'm out of my mind. I do not care. I just need her to live. I get her to the hospital. The emergency room light stays on for a very long time. Those hours are the longest wait of my life. I sit on a bench in the hallway, covered in blood, like a statue with no soul inside. My mind goes blank. If something happens to Sunny, I cannot finish the thought. Finally, the emergency room door opens. The doctor steps out and removes her mask. "The patient is out of danger." When those words reach me, every taut nerve in my body snaps at once. My vision goes dark and I lose consciousness entirely. When I come back, I am in a hospital room. Sunny lies in the bed next to mine. She is still unconscious, but her breathing is steady. I look at her pale face, and guilt and terror fill my chest in equal measure. I dragged her into this. If it were not for me, none of this would have happened to her. I keep watch at her bedside, 3 days and 3 nights, until she finally wakes. She sees me and smiles, weak but real. I think I am going to be okay. My tears break through before I can stop them. A 25-year-old man crying like a child. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Those are the only words I have. "Silly," she says, reaching up to wipe my tears. "It's not your fault." I take her cold hand and press it against my face. "Sunny." I look her in the eyes and say it one word at a time. "When you are better, marry me." Sunny freezes. Then she smiles. The same smile as the very first time I saw her, eyes curving into crescent moons. Yes. After she is discharged, the first thing I do is close the restaurant. I take Sunny and we leave this city. We travel south to a small town by the sea. With what money I have left, I buy a small house with a yard. We fill the yard with every flower Sunny loves. We adopt a cat named Itbun. I never ask about Yuncheng again. Blaine, Victor, Snow, Wolf, those people, those events, they feel like memories from another life sealed away. My life is simple. Every day, watching the sea with Sunny, tending the garden, playing with the cat. She has a long scar across her back. On rainy days, it aches. Whenever that happens, I hold her close and press my lips again and again to that scar. "I'm sorry." "Stop saying those 3 words, she says, covering my mouth with her hand. "Marcus, you have not wronged anyone. You have just suffered too much." "Yes. I have suffered too much. 25 years of it. But now there is a light in my life. A true light. Warm and real. Healing every wound I have ever carried. I think this is how my story ends. Peaceful, safe, and happy. Until the Daya package arrives from Yuncheng. Inside, nothing else. Just a newspaper and a photograph. The paper is a front page from 6 months ago. The headline, Blaine Chen executed. The photograph is a family portrait. Victor and Linda hold a newborn baby, both smiling. The baby's features are identical to mine as a child. On the back of the photo, written in red ink, a single line, "The game has only just begun."